How's everybody today? Good. It's good to see these faces here. I have to come to all the conferences. And I like the way we're segregated.
Yeah.
Do you guys always sit to this front side, like far to the right, or left?
It's more like our first years here. So that was a.
That's good to see everybody. Ray deserves like some sort of exposure, but it's helped me so much. I've never asked a presentation.
So still here, what?
I did. That was pretty good. That was
Minor in engineering.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. See, I noticed there's a song playing in the background. I'm intending to start conference with songs. I think we should. Some of our favorites, right? You get Doctor in here, you hear some 9 Inch Nails. Pretty good. Ray will stop that, and I'll get started. Okay, so I'm giving this talk today because I had a heart attack, and I think maybe a lot of people may or may not know. It seems like it's so strange. After I had the heart attack, I messaged a couple people right away from, like my internist, that's my first one, then my therapist, some family friends. But then kind of later on, I messaged a lot of people. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you copy a text message that's lengthy, send it to a lot of people, the phone thinks you're a robot, and actually it will block like after 25 or 50, I don't know the number, but this is happening more than once. So I shared this message with one of the chiefs to say, hey, please share this with residents, and then when I got back after leave, people were like, oh, it's good to see you, and they had no idea, and can you tell me the story, can you tell me the story? So the purpose today is to record the story, so I don't have to tell the story again. This is very selfish. Just so that I don't have to keep saying this is how it happened. So, you guys don't know, I'm pretty salty. So this, keep smiling, it's good, it's nice to be here. The salty reference, I went to medical school with Dr. Conan Gomez. He's actually the one that got me to go into radiology. So this is sort of a thank you, Dr. Gomez, to get me in front of you. The salty reference, you may know, it's sort of a little anal, sort of a little high strung, and sort of very focused. So the salty is, I studied a lot. I was like the super gunner. I was voted like the class gunner. Very embarrassing. But yeah, we were in conference one day, like in a little small group, and they said, and Conan said, yeah, that's salty over there. And it just stuck, salty, what are you talking about salty? And they said, well, it's because he knows so much. He's so salty. Actually, if you go near him, he will suck the knowledge out of you. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the end in mind, or at least start with the end of the story. Okay. I don't know if you know this book, but it's very worthwhile. It's really good. So I'm on some medicines, and one of them is aspirin. Has anybody ever like chewed up an aspirin? Have you ever done that? Okay, it's bitter. Okay, it's bitter, and so it's good because like kids don't want to like that. But these are the meds I'm taking now, and if you look carefully, you'll see that like these two pills, they look fairly similar. And my younger daughter said, well, yeah, the one on the left looks like a Smartie. And then my older daughter said, no, the one on the right is the Smartie because it's bigger. Okay. Well, I have these pills set up like on a ledge, and I have them in order. So I take these 3 in the morning, those 2 at night, and they're just sort of like that. So I got up this morning to, I have to backtrack just a little bit. So I give some national talks sometimes, like in front of a big audience sort of thing. And I gave one once in front of like 500 people, American College of Gastroenterology. First time I gave one, liver talk, so good. Such a good talk. Anyway, after the talk, one of my colleagues from Baylor, one of the gastroenterologists, said, hey, that was awesome, that was a great talk. I think what you said was really great, maybe I couldn't hear you. Okay, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, just the mic wasn't loud enough. We really couldn't hear you. And so there were 500 people in the audience. Nobody said we can't hear you. And I was the first presenter at this conference. Okay, so then cut to 8 years later, I'm giving the conference again, same conference, it's like a teaching conference. I'm kind of cocky at this point. I've given the conference enough that I feel like I have to prep for it. So the night before, I don't really look at my slides from 2 years before. Okay? And then as I'm kind of flipping through the slides at the beginning, I'm like, holy shit, I'm not ready for this. Like, and I'm gonna talk to the same people, huge crowd. So I'm brushing my teeth and I throw up a prayer. Hey God, you're gonna have to help me here because I'm not ready for this. Start brushing my teeth. As I'm brushing my teeth, it just doesn't feel right. It's like it's not foaming and it feels kind of greasy. And I look in my toiletry bag and it's athlete's foot cream.
No.
So then I'm like, okay, God, you got a sense of humor, but you're not really helping me here. So then you know, I kind of walk up and put it in. Now this is it's the inaugural. I'm the first one speaking at this conference. So like, yeah. And I get up there and I've got butterflies, which I usually don't have. Usually okay talking in front of a crowd. And I got up there and I said, look, I've got disclosures. You know, I have no financial disclosures, number one. But number two, I am a radiologist and I am paid to notice things. And this morning, I brushed my teeth with athlete's foot cream. They just erupted laughing. It was like the funniest thing ever. It was the best conference I ever gave. Like it was like rave reviews. It was good. So how does that apply? Well, this morning, I was talking to a friend of mine last night. He said, I'm talking to the residents tomorrow. I'm gonna give my talk about the MI. And they said, oh good, you know what you're gonna talk about? I said, I'm gonna wing it. I haven't really thought of anything yet. I'm gonna leave it up to God. And so this morning when I go to take my aspirin, first pill I take in the morning, that bitter, looking forward to the bitter, okay? Put the pill in my mouth, not bitter, hard, and sort of really tart and not good. And it turns out someone had switched my bottles there and I was chewing on a clopidogrel, which is not as good. So if you ever need to take clopidogrel, don't chew that one. You just want to swallow that one down. That's good. And then, okay, this little guy right here. Does anybody see what that is? The little metoprolol. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You hear that right? It slows the heart rate. It's good. It's nice. So. You know what Jesus said? Jesus said, "You know a tree by its fruit." What is the fruit, right? I will tell you that you know medicines by their side effects. You know medicines by their side effects. And I was reading once with Bryce Gagliano. Did any of you Bryce? He's like a little bit beyond you guys. One day I'm reading a case and I see an exciting finding and I kind of lean forward a little bit to like kind of show him. And as I lean forward, it just flies right out of me. And I was like, excuse me, Bryce. And Bryce says, it's okay, sir. So the reason I'm telling you that medicine has caused me to have the worst gas. I got behind my own business and it's so I hope you never have to take that for anything. The other ones are pretty good. Like I'll tell you this one, no trouble with this one. This is all good. The statin, it's all great. Okay, so, and then now I'm in cardiac rehab. Yesterday I'm in cardiac rehab and they give me this. Any guesses on what this is? It's about this big. Does anybody have a guess on what that is? I looked at it, I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know, some sort of I thought it was Band-Aids. I'm like, why are you giving me Band-Aids? Okay. So then,
Sticky
say again?
notes?
Yes, okay, good. And then, and I showed it to my 16-year-old daughter, and she opened it and said, oh yeah, it's a pill cutter and a pill holder. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Anyway, so I got that. That's little things. Okay, so we're gonna play a little, this is the radiology game. We see, I want you to tell me what's different between these two pictures. What do you got? Who's missing? Yep, somebody's missing. Yep, okay, somebody's missing. Right. So, she passed September of 2023. My life has been very different since then. And I think the reason I'm telling you about the heart attack, see, I believe in physiology, I believe in pathology, I believe in disease, like how people get disease. But truthfully, I believe I gave myself a heart attack. You might say, gosh, that doesn't sound possible, right? That is not really physiologic. So I guess what I'll say about it What time is it? I don't wanna go too long. Somebody give me.
12:25.
Oh, perfect, okay, good. So, I'll just tell you that since my wife passed, you know, the first few months, she said, who here is grieved? Who has grieved somebody for real? I wanna see show of hands, somebody. So, depending on the nature of it, the first, like, months, you're in shock. Like, you can't even kind of talk about it. Somebody told me that there's this rubber band holding all these big emotions together, and then after some amount of time, that band snaps. And that's when you start to just, you know, for whatever reason, feel whatever, these big waves, small waves. Grief is like waves, kind of coming and going. And so it's important because we all grieve. I believe now that we're all grieving something all the time. Some of you beautiful people, some of you are grieving that you actually have to work with me that day. It's like, crap, he's gonna go off again on whatever tangent. But I know, right? Poor Ray, yeah. So, anyway, you know, the grief's going okay. I make some adjustments, you know, like I buy a new car, I get an au pair. But, you know, the first few months just sort of kind of took time off. I think you know that. And it's important to process your grief. I said to my therapist, hey, you know, I feel like I just want to go back to work. And she said, why do you want to do that? Well, I said, just kind of keep going, you know, keep going, because this stuff, you know, I don't really want to do this. I don't think I want to touch this. And she said, you can't go back to work. So the point is, if you don't deal with the grief is sort of, it's going to find its way out in ways that are maybe not healthy. So, anyway, I once told my wife, she had breast cancer. So you talk about hyperbole and you talk about, so my wife was amazing. I think some of you met her. But I told her once, if anything happens to you, if you're not in my life anymore, I'm gonna need at least 4 people to do what you do, okay? And that was an underestimation. I've figured that out, okay? And so I got a housekeeper, I got the au pair, and then there's so much stuff not getting done. Like the organization, this was an organizer. And I'm like a squirrel, right? Like, oh, look at that PE. Oh, look at that over there. Was that a nodule? That's what I'm like. And so sort of managing the girls, managing me, yeah, I've been learning. Like, that's really true. And I want to thank you all because you guys have supported me. I can't even say how much. Yeah, what happened was, we're seeing this family therapist, and I don't know if you guys, some of you have been to our house, and none of you here, I don't think, have played a board game with us. But, so I got a big one and a little one. The big one's 16, the little one's 10. And, you know, believe it or not, somehow those damn girls are competitive. I don't know where they got it from, but they'll like sort of during a game, almost always it gets very ugly at some point. And so one of my wife's former patients, turns out he's a psychologist. My 16-year-old learned to drive that 5-speed Mustang. Sometime you're gonna see me driving around this red 5-speed convertible Mustang. Umesh Boza saw me in it. So I had the top down, this is awesome. Had the top down in this Mustang, had my mountain bike in the back seat, and I'm driving up the ramp with garage 6. He's walking down the ramp. He sees me in this convertible. He does this. Because it just doesn't make sense. Why is dePrisco in like this sexy, like what is this sexy beast and what's he doing in it? Okay? And so the whole point is this guy, she told her patient, hey, you know, we kind of want to we don't teach her to drive a 5-speed, you know, because I think a woman should not rely on anybody, you know, and I think driving a 5-speed, like that's a power move, like learn how to do that. Anyway, this guy had this old Mustang, he gifted it to us, okay? So where I'm tying this all together is this guy came, and he's a psychologist. He watches my daughters and I play this game, and it's so great. See, the thing is, you want to heal, right? We're healers. That's like, you might, as a radiologist, you might think, no, I'm a diagnostician, man. I'm like a diagnostic ninja. I don't heal shit. But no, you do. That's why you're in these chairs. Well, anyway, a good healer knows like when to push and when not. And this problem had been here forever. But one day he said, you know, you guys, it's not just great when you're playing this game. Maybe take this game, Settlers of Catan. It'll bring out the worst in anybody, Settlers of Catan. Take it to your therapist and play a game in front of her. And just, you know, see if you can give you notes about how you interact. okay? So we do that. It's January 6th. Yep, that's right. No, January 7th. It's Monday. Yes, 6th. Somebody check this. Whatever Monday was, it's either the 6th or the 7th. I think it's the 6th. But anyway, go to the therapist, and the 6th. Yep. So we're there, and it's the first 45 minutes of the game are great, and then I don't remember everything, but the little one is either standing on a chair or just standing, and she's screaming at the big one, and she's saying, "You're so selfish. I can't stand you all the time. You do the same thing. It's just about you. You don't care about anybody." And then the big one's just like, you're kind of doing that, but then it just keeps going. Now the therapist, this is great. The therapist is very entertained. She's not saying anything. She's not even taking notes. She's just like taking it in. Well, after a little while, I can't take it anymore, right? And I say, "Hey girls, you know what you're doing right now? This is why we're here, okay? And you know, this dynamic you have, it's really not good." And you know, then the little one, you know, crossing arms, she's looking. So nobody's paying attention to me. Sometimes I feel like they're residents. Like they just like, why don't you listen? Like, but anyway, I don't yell. I said, "Listen, you guys have to listen to me." And one thing I say to them sometimes, it's very, very, well, what's the word? Not demeaning, condescending. They both have brown eyes. And I say to them, "Look at me with your brown eyes. Look at me with your brown eyes." I didn't say that this time, but I love saying that to them when I really want to get their attention. Anyway, they're paying attention to me, and I say, "Look, you don't understand. I'm going to die soon, and you guys are going to be all you have. It's going to be you too. And what you're doing now, you're making these building blocks. You're making this relationship, and I don't like what I'm seeing here, you know?" Now, my little one, when I say gonna die soon, she stands up again. "Daddy, no, Daddy, God's not ready to take you, Daddy." And the therapist says, amazingly, the therapist now is talking. After I talk, she wants to interrupt. And she says, "Well, Greg, now, you can't say soon. You can't use that word soon, Greg, okay?" "How do you know?" "Okay, yeah, right, I shouldn't have said soon, or I don't know." Now, when I said soon, what I meant was, my dad died at 68, his dad died at 69, no cardiac disease. My dad was a COPDer. I think my granddad, truthfully, died of malignant anger, which I guess could have been a heart attack. I don't know, but you know, we'd have an autopsy on that. So anyway, I wasn't thinking like heart attack or anything like that. And then when we're done, it's all kumbaya. We have hugs. It's gonna be good. And then you know where we're going? It's the day before school starts. We're going to Costco. Yeah, I wish Brittany was there. But anyway, I get the giant piece of pizza. Does anybody have that? They get the dogs, and then we're shopping. They get some socks. Fun time at Costco. And it is like I'm not anxious. I'm not upset. I'm not, and then we're driving home. This is where it gets good. Okay, driving home, and maybe you guys have seen our house. If you haven't, I really want you guys. If you haven't been to our house, spoiler alert, we're gonna start a journal club, I think, and maybe have it at our house, and I'm super excited to host people. Oh, wait, I have to back up just a little bit because I see Effie over there. I believe you were on ultrasound CT, like back in November, maybe. And this is important because I left out something important. One day I'm sitting on DX, reading my own business, and I feel my heartbeat in my chest.
Oh.
Palpitations. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Okay? And I'm a single dad, never had palpitations. I know you guys think I'm like, just kind of spazzy maybe. But anyway, I call my internist immediately. Come on over, they do an EKG, check everything, nothing, got nothing. Okay, and I go back, and he's like, there's nothing there. So anyway, the next day, or I don't know if it's the same day, it was in that week period. If he's working, I'm feeling this again, and I get one of these cardio monitors, right? Which is useless. Those things, I think they're worse than I think they're like a paperweight. I don't think it's made to actually do anything. I'm being harsh there. But anyway, it happens again. And since they said, well, there's nothing, I go to Iffy and I rip my shirt apart. And I say, here, put your hand right there. And she's like, whoa, that's pretty, ooh, there's like a lion in there. So anyway, it was real. There these real palpitations, but like can't find. So then I got a good internist. You know, he says, Greg, if you got problems with the heart like that with an arrhythmia, it could be there's something with myocardium. Obviously it could be a conduction phenomenon. So you got the muscle and you got the electric, and then it could be vascular, but it's not usually vascular. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do a stress echo, and we'll just see if it could be vascular. So I get a stress echo like a week later, and I do this. So I did the Bruce protocol. You guys know the Bruce? You know what it is? Yeah, it's treadmill. You know the treadmill. You do an echo before and after. 18 minutes, sort of the end of the Bruce protocol. And I found out that airline pilots have to do a Bruce protocol every so often, because you got to go and make sure they're kind of safe, right? You don't want your airline pilot, falling out, right? Well, anyway, it's negative. I'll just tell you, I get over 14 minutes on the Bruce, which is pretty good. They were like, yeah, that's really quite good. Got my heart rate over 220, kept it over 220 for more than 3 minutes, okay? And truthfully, I stopped the Bruce protocol because I'm like, I'm 54 years old and this test is negative. 53, it's 53 at the time. I was like, this test is negative. Like, I'm not crazy short of breath, I can keep running longer. And truthfully, I thought, this is just hurting my knees now. So I stopped the test, right? And, anyway, so that's good. So then, now, back to where we were, driving back from Costco. And that's when it happens, right outside my back door, the gate. I feel this very sharp, very distinct, never felt this pain before, right behind my sternum. And it was like a 3 out of 10, okay? But I'd never felt it before, never. And it was different. And you already know that I'm, a patient with insight. Like, does the patient care, right? Well, I had palpitations and I went and got it worked up. So, I think I care, maybe. Well, I have this pain. And I say, oh no, that's not good. And my daughter sat next to me and she said, what's not good? And I said, we gotta back the car in, we gotta get these groceries out of the car. Okay. And we back the car in and we get the groceries out. And then I start looking around for an aspirin, go in cabinets, don't find an aspirin. And it's the day before school starts. A lot of laundry that's not done. A lot of laundry, I'm a single dad. A lot of laundry, gotta be ready. Okay, so let's go fold the laundry. So we go up there and put on a movie, or like watch a TV show or something with fold laundry. The pain sort of subsides a bit. And then fold the laundry, it's good, socks. We get that done about an hour, okay? And then I'm tired, I didn't sleep well the night before. So this is critical. Grief causes all sorts of crazy insomnia. What I had usually is sort of middle insomnia where I fall asleep, wake up after 45 minutes, feel like I've been asleep like most of the night, and then it's still 12:45, and then I gotta get back to sleep, and that happens all night long. Well, anyway, I go to lay down, take a nap. I'm not fatigued, but take a nap. When I lay down, it's like, ooh, that's kind of 5 out of 10. That got worse. Pain got worse when I laid down. And I started thinking, what did I start thinking? Somebody guess, what did I think? Pericardial effusion, maybe. That's what I think. Is it pericarditis or something, right? Now I did think transiently, Ray said heartburn, I did have that giant piece of pizza, okay? And so when I got home, when they aspirin, I did take 2 Tums. Just, but that didn't touch that pizza. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, so, but then, and I'm a side sleeper. Probably can't tell me standing up like this, but I'm a side sleeper. So I turn from my back onto my side, and then, ooh, that's maybe 7 out of 10. Turn to the other side, ooh, 7 out of 10. So then I kind of think, oh, I'm not gonna fall asleep here. So I get up, and then this is where I kneel down, side of my bed. And this is where I pray. This is where, hey God, I know you can take this away. I know you can do this. He doesn't take it away. Somebody told me once that God doesn't answer our prayers, like intentionally, for like a very good reason. Rejection is protection. You ever heard that? Somebody told me that last night. Like, if you want an answer yes for something, like, hey, that guy's really hot, and he's like, you're ugly, stink, or whatever, well, you're actually being protected from whatever that horrible person is going to do to you and your self-esteem. Anyway, well, then I get up, right? And at this point, I'm not really moving slower. I start to maybe feel, not nausea yet, there's not even real nausea, I never throw up, never get sweats. But I do go to my master bathroom, lovely bathroom, marble tile, steam shower, gotta get a steam shower. And I find a couple aspirin, they're maybe 10 years old, better take 2 of those. So I took 2, I chewed them up, bitter. And then this is the sad part. To me, this is the sad part. I go back to the foot of my bed. Oh, what I didn't show you, there's a huge picture of our family above my bed. My wife's there, my daughter. And I just feel this incredible sense of calm. And I think I can just let go now. Like, so what happened is my younger daughter was going to tumbling class in like 5 minutes. My older daughter was already at the house. So I just thought, I can just slip away now. Because this has been hard, I guess. I don't have the formed thought of that, but I just feel this real sense of peace. And this sense that, well, I'm a great dad. You might not believe this, but I am a good dad. And I know that my daughters want me in their life, and I know that they need me to some degree. But the truth is, they got a super dad. They don't really need me. And it would be nice to be done with this grief. It would. So the bottom line is, I don't know why I went downstairs. I don't know why I went down and didn't just let myself slip away there. We have an au pair, fantastic, French. She really is from France, au pair, amazing. And I'm sitting in the chair in the kitchen and I said, look, I think you have to take me to the emergency room. And she said, why do you have to go to the emergency room? And I said, oh, it's just my stomach. And she said, you do not go to the emergency room for your stomach. I am French, I am not stupid. And okay, you're not. But I still don't know what's going on. I call Scott Solinsky, a friend of mine. This pro tip, maybe the most valuable thing I'm telling you. If you have a loved one or yourself, you have to go to the Baylor emergency room, call the physician referral line. Translation, just call the nurse, the nursing supervisor that day. 0317, give me your pro right there, 820-0317, and you just say, it's Dr. dePrisco, I'm coming in with some crushing chest pain, and they'll put you right at the front of the line. It's great, or your loved one, so that's a good tip. Well, anyway, Mava drops me off at the physician referral entrance, which is on Hall Street in Haskell over there. Yeah, it's kind of across from BHVH. And I do, I kind of go up the steps, use my badge myself in, it's good. And then I'm waiting there, and they come out and they say, oh, chest pain, huh? Maybe we should do an EKG. They do that. And sadly, I didn't bring the EKG. I should have put the EKG. We gotta add it. But anyway, spoiler alert, just shows a STEMI, not a big deal, And then they whisk me back, then it's like, and they get me over. They take me from E side all the way to A side to then take me back. So it's great. But they mobilized cath lab right away. Here's a good part. As I'm there, I do say, hey, why don't you just make sure there's no pericardial effusion, echo, that. And they're like, how do you know anything about this? And I was like, oh, I'm Greg dePrisco. Oh, you're dePrisco? and so it was great. So this goes to show you that you can work there for 15 years and they have no idea who you are. So don't think that's going to save you. But then they asked this question. After I've been in the ED for 5 or 10 minutes, this is sad. I remember I was an intern here. Mona baby, okay? Morphine, okay? When you have a heart attack, you get morphine, right? And I wasn't in horrible pain. It's true, I was making jokes. I was, maybe not. But they said to me, oh, would you like morphine or do you want fentanyl? And I said, oh, give me that fentanyl then. So we did that. And then after that, I don't remember a lot. I remember my friend Scott showed up. I referenced him earlier. He's the one that called me in, okay? So they whisked me away to the cath lab. And the next thing I know, I wake up, okay? And this is when I start sending all these text messages. Seems as though I've had a heart attack, yada, yada, okay? Well, my friend Scott comes and he says, look, it turns out that they had to cardiovert you after you were sort of, revascularized there. There was a run there that wasn't good. And anyway, let's cut to some pictures because that's good. Yeah, so this is, I should have showed this earlier. This is my stress echo, when I was doing the 200 beats a minute, okay? And I just wanna show you that it, you know, looks like a little mouse heart, but, there's no wall motion abnormality, it's all looking pretty good. And does anybody point out, why is everything so bright in there? Does anybody, I need somebody to, you're on ultrasound, I'm sorry. Why is it bright? Why is the blood bright?
Contrast.
Yeah, so they gave ultrasound contrast, yeah, so just like we do, they'll do that sometimes depending on, you know, if you're scrawny and you have like, they don't see things well, they'll say, oh, we gotta give the bubbles. So they gave me the bubbles, it's good. All right, so who is oldest here? I wanna just say,
Ray.
Jeff, I know, so Ray already knows. Jeff, you're taking the case. Describe what you see.
It's like a catheter with the tip, right coronary, main coronary artery.
Okay, good. You're reading with Greg dePrisco today. Anything else?
Some embolization coils and
Oh, embolization coils. Yeah, what's that about? He did that? Did he put those in there?
this is beginning procedure, so I don't think so.
No, he didn't, right? You're gonna take boards one day. Keep going.
Maybe bronchial artery or above the diaphragms, something in the belly.
Yep, something in the chest. I love it. You're doing great.
It's outside of the heart, cardiac shadow as well. So.
Where's the answer? The answer is always in the, you heard that? The answer is in the jacket, yeah. So when you talk about a jacket, it used to be it had this films and they'd be in this jacket. So we say the answer's in the jacket, meaning if you look at old imaging, maybe you can figure out what those are about, if you don't know, right? So maybe some old imaging.
Pulmonary heart.
Yeah.
Thing.
Good.
Or
So good.
something.
There's something that looks like all snaky and squiggly and contrast enhanced. Now it's hard because you can't see the artery and vein together. This is not all of it. It is an AVM. Very good. Okay. So cut to, I don't know, 15 years ago. I had a small stroke 16 years ago. It was great. I was 6 weeks into practice, and just one evening I got home working the ED, and all of a sudden I couldn't speak. It was really, really a cool, terrifying, shitty experience. I'd say worse than the heart attack. Yeah, overall, because I'd worked for this is important. I'd worked for a long time. You know, I told you that gunner thing, the med school thing, WashU, radiology, did that. And this was all to sort of become a provider, and I met a Holocaust survivor once. See, I was afraid to go to med school. I didn't think I was smart enough. True story. And he said, no, you should go to med school. And I said, why do you think I should go to med school? And he was the son, like the Holocaust survivors. And he said, because your education is the only thing they can't take away from you. Like, we got out of Germany, and that's the only reason that we, you know. And so that's sort of true, except it's a lie. Because all my education was gone like that. If you can't speak, if you can't communicate it, so the point is everything is a gift. I think that's apparent. Well, anyway, they coiled that bad boy. Long story, but I got nosebleeds that wouldn't stop. Got the rhino rocket once. That is horrible. That thing freaking hurts. Michelle said, you're such a baby. I've had babies, and you're the baby with that thing in your nose. Anyway, okay, so yes, that's the right coronary artery. And so what do you see, what do you not see? What's the pertinent negative on this scan? And I picked on Jeff enough. I'm gonna go with Jeremy back there. Just from 30,000 feet, Jeremy, name some risk factors for, you know, cardiac disease. How do you know if you have coronary disease? What do we look for? I'll tell you now, like as a resident, like every CT chest, we make you say something.
Yeah, you look for like atherosclerosis.
Yeah, okay, you look for atherosclerosis. Donde está?
None.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go back to that picture. Well, sorry, this one, right? Yeah. Yeah, no eye calcificados, right? There aren't any, right? Okay, so that's good. Okay, so then here, do this one. Who wants to go next? This is harder because we don't read a lot of these. Iffy, I like it. You look very good. You can always say, I'm not sure, I'll take more pictures.
I'll take more pictures.
Okay, so turn that in your head, turn it into your head. Okay, yeah, okay. So this is before and this is after. So sort of a mid-LED occlusion is what we had. Okay. And we don't read these all the time, but there is, you know, they placed a stent, you know, kind of plastic this, and then there's the stent right there. Okay. And then, you know, I want to talk to Dr. Shug. I want to go back and tell him, look, I think you're pretty damn good, Shug. You're pretty good. But I want to move this just further down. Just do me a freaking favor, okay? But it's okay. I mean, I can't, you know, can't criticize him too much. Okay, and then this is the echo after the fact. And I guess what I'll show you, there's a little bit of apical hypokinesis there. And it's great because, you know, as I'm laying in the bed after telling them, hey, there's some apical hypokinesis, they're like, who the hell are you? And I said, I'm dePrisco. Didn't they tell you from the ED? They didn't tell them. Anyway, so there's that. Okay. So, yeah, what to tell you? What's the time? What are we at time?
12:51.
Okay, good. So, anyway, it's interesting. So what are the questions? I think I just released it. What do you guys want to know? Like, why did I have this heart attack? I say I think I gave myself a heart attack. So what are the questions? What are the risk factors? What should we talk about?
Cholesterol.
Okay, good. Cholesterol. I'm very disappointed that the IT person mentioned it, but you guys, come on, you guys went to med school. Who went to Southwestern here? Did anybody go to Southwestern? Okay, well, anyway, I'm kidding. I know you know. Anyway, my HDL 77. Yeah, I might lift up a Volkswagen. My LDL 161. Now a year and a half ago, before Michelle passed, actually it was right after Michelle passed. Right after Michelle passed, I got my cholesterol checked. I got these glasses. They're my monitor glasses, because as you get older, you need those. Some of you read with me studies for a long time. I didn't have those glasses, so luckily, like there's tail coverage on these. I'll get sued first, but these are a big help. Now I'm finding stuff. Wow, look at that pancreas. So great. But no, so I did that. I basically took care of myself. I'm really good at taking care of other people, not good at taking care of myself. And this is an important part of the story. See, after my wife passed, what I decided to do was start exercising. Got a personal trainer. Guy is a beast. My personal trainer. He's like I should put it up. One-handed upside down push-ups. And on his head. I'm not kidding. The beast, okay? And he told me, it's so great. This is good. You might think, you know, I don't understand why we read DEXA scans. That could just be put into like, what are we doing with that? Well, I'll tell you why we read DEXA scans. One day you'll be talking to a personal trainer and he'll say, hey, I just had a DEXA scan. And I'm not sure what the result means. You know, can you tell me what it means? And I said, oh, what did you get? He said, it said my T-score was greater than 4. What does that mean? And I said, oh, that means you're fucking Wolverine. Those bones are strong, baby. So anyway, but no, he's a great guy, okay? Which is really good because I'm laid up in the bed, and one of the texts I send is to Thomas, my personal trainer, the Y. I can hook you up. I said, oh, Thomas, you know, sorry to say I had an MI. I didn't say that, I said heart attack. And then he messaged me back after 5 minutes. And he says, you know, I got online here, Greg, and I saw on like medicine.com, you know, it says here that a heart attack is really serious, and you probably should try to not have another one of those. So, yeah, okay. Check, Thomas. Yeah. Good to know. So then he brings me a book, How to Live Forever or something. This book with like lettuce on the cover. So there's a problem with the lettuce. I'm already pretty spelt. I can't really, but all that to say, I met with Thomas. The whole reason I got with him, does anybody know why, can you guess why I would get a personal trainer at 54 now? And I got 2 daughters. Can anybody just sort of guess what I'm thinking, stupid thing?
Bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
Okay, right, that would be good. I was a power lifter in college. I was, I could do it. But no, not so much bodybuilding, but bodybuilding. Why would I be interested in bodybuilding at my age? Just anybody? No, hard, right?
Being depressed, low density loss.
Okay, that's good. What do you think?
Intimidating your daughter.
Well, that would be awesome, right? Yeah, I've got a T-shirt. You know, I'm not afraid to go back to prison. That's good. No, so this is how I think. Okay, how I think is, gosh, the if I'm gonna have an ICU stay at like 120 pounds soaking wet here, I'm not gonna survive. Like, so what I think is I wanna get muscle mass on so that if I do get the COVID, whatever, and I'm in the ICU, by the way, any of you, I'm telling you now, I already have like, what a medical power of attorney and all that, but I'm holding you all responsible. If I'm ever laid up in a hospital bed and you see images of dePrisco and they're like ECMO catheters and that shit, you tell them, no, he didn't want that. He said he didn't want that, okay? Because they asked me before the thing. They're like, how would you on this? They said, what do you think about ECMO? I said, I think hell no ECMO. I'm not doing any ECMO. So they said, it's okay, it's really good. ECMO is like salt and pepper, it's fine. Anyway, no, they did try to downplay it. No big deal, it's not like horribly invasive or anything. So, no, but that's my thing, is that I'm living for my daughters. I'm living to take care of them, okay? And maybe you guys are better at this. See, I've got a lot of wounding. Like my mother abandoned me, sort of alcoholic. My dad was kind of abusive. He didn't mean to be. You know, he didn't have training. Training. It's all about training, right? And it's, you kind of take it for granted. But the point is, especially when Michelle got sick. See, when Michelle got sick for like 7 years, I was in a serious caretaker role, okay? And this is a strange feeling, I'll tell you. When somebody like that, if you have a parent or somebody you're taking care of that's sick, say I was so afraid she'd fall down, so afraid whatever would happen. Like it was horrible, terrifying, all the time, you're living on edge. After she passed, there was like, just a small part of me that was like, oh, I was in the shower. Yeah, I was standing in the shower the day after she died. And we always took showers together. That's a real benefit. If you don't take, like, if you're not all the time with your spouse or significant other, I don't know why you're not. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But we did. We took showers together, lowered the water bill. I was in the shower, and I had this feeling. Oh, I'm not afraid somebody's gonna fall over. And I was relieved. Like, in this sort of, so this idea of relief that someone has passed. Now I know where Michelle is, and that's incredibly comforting. Great. Well, anyway, so the point is I'm not living for myself. Like I do these bike rides. Some of you have been, some residents have been on bike rides with me. But usually when I ride my bike alone, I just think about Michelle and how much I miss her. And I at some point say, gosh, I wish you were here. And then I'm just living that all the time, right? So, I'll tell you that we're gonna go a little further. Last February, I went to this physician discipleship retreat. It's the most awesome meeting. It's all docs or spouses of docs or two docs that are, you know, husband and wife couples. That was our case. But it's this wonderful, it's a castle, the Glen Erie Castle. Somebody said, hey, go to the Glen Erie Castle for this discipleship retreat. And I'm like, where is it? Is it Scotland or something? And they said, no, it's in Colorado. And I said, bullshit. There are no castles in Colorado, okay? But there it is. It's a great story. Beautiful, and you don't have to go for the retreat here. Highly recommend this place. Awesome. It's in Colorado Springs. Anyway, last year at the retreat, the first day of the retreat, I am in line for the buffet. Almost everybody at this place is couples, like couples. Standing across from me in the buffet line is a woman. Yeah, opposite sex woman, one of those. And she seems to be without somebody else. And so I, oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm Greg. Her name is Caroline. And then I hear that she's got a couple kids. That's all I learned. And then I do the really macho thing. I decide I cannot talk to that woman again. So I avoid her the whole conference. Okay? I could talk to her. The last day of the conference, it's I go to an older person and say, hey, thank you for praying for my wife so much. Really helped her. There were times when she was home alone, and like your prayers, like you reached out to her at times that were amazing. And then before I know it, there's a bunch of other people there, and this woman, Caroline, comes over, and now she wants to thank for praying for something for her. I don't know what it is. But then before I know it, all these people are praying for me, and like be with him, that whole thing. And then after prayer service, what do? Hugs. Gotta give the hugs. So everybody gives me a hug, and then this woman gives me a hug. And man, I was like, crap. It felt exactly like my wife's hugs. My wife gave the best hugs on the planet. Best hugs. For real, I'm not kidding. Ask Amy Wilson. Like, I'm serious. And and I just couldn't take it. I was level, you know. And then I'm like, really, I gotta get away from this woman. Gotta get away from this woman. And so then cut to a couple weeks later, and I'm in the shower. And, oh yeah, you can see this here. Old Neptune is Roaring. That's the song that was playing. I encourage you to listen to it. But the song it's very transparent. The song is about go get her. There's this woman, go get her. Like, God has already conquered everything. Don't be afraid, just go get her. Well, every time I hear this song, I think of this woman. It's like she's just in my head. Now, it's not in my Spotify top playlist. I don't have it on repeat or anything. Not weird. It just kind of plays once in a while. Right? Anyway, on the day that I take my daughters to camp, they go to summer camp together, I come home alone. I'm home to this crazy big mansion. And it's like, oh, this is lonely. This is bad. I'm sitting in the kitchen, and I'm thinking about how I want my wife to hug me, be there, and man, it's hard. Start crying. And I'm thinking about her hugging me, and then I'm reminded, oh, there's somebody that hugged like Michelle. And so then I get the conference list out. I'd already vowed never to call this person. So I didn't call her. True to my word. I type her phone number in my phone, and funny enough, her name pops up. It's already saved. And it turns out this woman knew my wife. My wife and I share contacts. If you guys come to me and like, why did I get everybody's phone number? It's because Michelle had the number of every clinician that I didn't have. And then together we were, super twins. Anyway, so I message her, hey, it's Greg from the Physician Retreat. And then it's, oh, great to hear from you, back and forth. And I tell her everything about really missing Michelle. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. That. And then we message a little bit, but then I'm like, I gotta avoid this and sort of stop that again. Anyway, where I'm going with it is, it was Thursday a couple weeks ago, and I am lying in bed. I have horrible insomnia the night before. At the end of the horrible insomnia, I can't sleep. So I watched this movie called Something's Gotta Give. You know this? It's Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton about a guy that survives, guess what? A heart attack. And it's a love story. And anyway, the insomnia is different after the heart attack. Now I can't fall asleep. So if you guys are ever awake at midnight and you're like, yeah, I just want to see what Greg's doing, better than even a chance, give a call. Make a call. I'm probably not sleeping. So anyway, after this movie, as good as it gets, okay, you're not going to believe what I do. Does anybody guess what I want to do? After, it's 1:30 in the morning. Okay, good. I am not disrespectful like that. But I did send her a very lengthy text. And in the text I explained, hey, the truth is I've been thinking about you and can't get it out of my head. Since the thing, I send her the link to this song. And the song is like, it's not like, oh, I think I might like you or something. It's pretty much, I'm coming for you. Okay, so anyway, I kind of wake up the next morning, and this is really important what I'm about to tell you. So there's this moonshot concert thing. I don't know if you guys know, but we made national media, like with my wife passing and everything, and they're now making a documentary out of our story, and it's all about it's about how we handle death in America, and celebration of life rather than a funeral, and like this hospice, like it's a really cool thing. So there's a social media proponent who's trying to get funding for the documentary. Supposed to have an interview with her at 10. Now at 9:30 after I drop my daughter off from school, I'm just beat after not sleeping and the emotional exhaustion of everything. And this is what's amazing. I message the person, say, look, I'm tired. Can we do this interview later? And she said, oh yeah, how about 2? Can we do 2? Oh yeah, 2's great. So I go upstairs, and the person next to me, they bought the house next to me, this old mansion. And man, they've got like jackhammers and sawzalls and shit going. It's like, and I don't know why I think I'm gonna go to sleep. So as I'm laying there, I send Caroline another message because I realize I sent this woman a text at 1:30 in the morning. She's gonna think I'm drunk and or stupid. I don't know. But I say, hey, you might wonder why I sent you this message, and it's because, well, I had this heart attack. And things change after somebody has a heart attack. And what I didn't tell you, my therapist, IT on a heart attack with like the no cardiac risk really, she said, Greg, maybe this is your heart telling you you need to love it and take care of it better. Maybe you need to do that. Yeah. My therapist is freaking brilliant. She's so great. Anyway, after I send that text to Caroline about, hey, this is why I sent it to you, the strangest thing happens. Total silence. Like in that movie Fargo. Remember that? Fargo?
Mhm.
Total silence. I don't have to say anything. Total silence. I don't have to say anything. Total silence. You'll see. I don't have to say anything. But there really was total silence. Right? And it was that kind of silence where the ringing in your ears. Have you ever had that before? Sort of a kind of a. Well, as I'm doing that, sort of laying down, and I'm looking at the ceiling, and then just crazy. It's crazy. The ceiling's there, and then the ceiling starts to dissolve. And what opens up for me is the firmament. I have this crazy vision that was incredibly, incredibly comforting. Amazing. And I fall asleep. I wake up an hour later, and I check my text, and Caroline has responded. And she said, Greg, your sentiments are not unwelcome. They are welcome. And so, this is Caroline. There's only one small wrinkle. She lives in Colorado Springs.
Oh.
Isn't it good? Yeah, anyway. So all that to say, I've recorded this because I don't want to tell this story again. I think God is great and does amazing things. I'm excited about life. Dylan saw me in the YMCA working out like a week after my heart attack, 2 weeks after my heart attack. Cardiac rehab, they put you on a monitor, make sure you can do that, be okay. But Dylan saw me working out, and he kind of did a double take like Umesh, like you just had a heart attack, put those plates down. And the point is, this is very nice. I don't know if you guys got this. I'm gonna sum it all up. I said to my daughters, I'm going to die soon. Later that day, I died, and they had to shock me back. And what I know unequivocally is that I'm here for a reason. Like right now, I'm supposed to be here giving Ray holy hell on CT and ultrasound, and you're next on whatever base we're on. That's it. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Does anybody have questions? I didn't get a groin hematoma or pseudoaneurysm. Anything? Yeah, okay, thanks a lot. Listen to that song, Old Neptune Glory. Congratulate yourself. This is great. It does work.
Thank you for
Hey,
telling us all of that.
thank you.